Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring to the stage my sister, registered dietitian and nutritionist, Nada
Hi,
Mays.
everyone. Hi. Thank you for having me on, Amanda.
Look at our faces.
I
I almost wore a very similar lipstick, and people would have been like, "What is this?"
And
Twins.
you know what? I have like yoga pants with that same exact pattern on them. That's your shirt. And I'm like, what? We really
This, I feel like I'm giving you disco with this.
Yeah,
I feel like it's turn the beat around. Okay, so y'all, this is my sister Nada Mays. What do all these letters mean?
Okay, so MS means master's degree, RD is registered dietitian, and then LDN means license. So I'm licensed in different states that need licensure for me to practice.
Okay, all right.
I'm still looking to add a few more.
Really? What else would you add?
I'm working on getting my certified diabetes educator certification. I love working in diabetes and just want to just certify it so that I'm seen as the professional in that field as well.
I think it's hilarious that they're like, you better be in the office. Wait, but why do we have our degree?
Because I'm a woman of color in a field where less than, 2.7% are Black women or Black people at all. Like, I'm tired of people always questioning my authority to speak on this. So here it is. It's right here.
Y'all see it. Y'all see it. Wait, this person's like, wait, is this your real sister? Yes, this is my real biological sister. That's why we look alike. That's why we look alike. We got the same daddy, y'all. We got the same daddy. So I wanted to bring you on because, yes, we talk about mental health awareness. We talk about education awareness, but we still have to be taking care of our bodies. Like, these are the bodies that are housing our soul and our spirit. And I feel like, especially in a year that people are very much anticipating like a lot of drama and stress, diet is going to be really super duper important in just keeping our physical being at its best. So I said, you know what? Let's get the licensed, registered, all the letters dietitian Nada to come on here and give us some tips. So would you mind just giving our audience some healthy diet choices that they can make to really kind of just preserve their bodies in the 2025?
Yeah, absolutely. So these are general recommendations. I do want to say before I even start that if you have any diagnoses, you should you should get a registered dietitian on your team to give you personalized recommendations and not just pull from like the general ones, especially diagnoses like renal disease. Just get a dietitian. Kidney, yeah, anything resulting with the kidney. You can have the opposite recommendations as the general public, so you need to speak with a specialist. But for the general public, especially for us as people of color, I did highlight some things that I think are important for 2025. Number one, everyone's looking for this miracle nutrient that solves all things, and there's so much misinformation and marketing in it. Honestly, guys, we as Americans, we need to focus on fiber. And I'm not talking about supplements. I'm going to get back to that. But fiber is one of the nutrients that can really solve a lot of the chronic health issues that we see in our population. The next one is water. So drink your water. I have mine. I thought this was so dumb. This like Stanley Cup thing. I was like, then my bestie Lachelle gave me one as a gift. And I was like, wow, I really do drink so much more water when I have this. So find a vessel that you like, decorate it so you feel cute carrying it, and build your environment. So I always have it on my desk when I'm working in sessions, or it just helps me drink water without thinking about it. Now, water and fiber work together. So that's why I say not to use supplements, because a lot of times I'll see people using supplements and I'm like, how's your hydration? Non-existent. Fiber pulls water into your lower digestive system and helps things clear out. If you don't have water, you could be setting yourself for a gastrointestinal crisis, emergency. I don't want that to happen to you. So just
this also like aids in preventing constipation, right?
Yes, it can, as long as things are working right. So once again, like general recommendations, fiber, water can be really helpful in prevention with any GI concerns. Now, like I said, they work together, and then it goes into my next recommendation, which is increase produce. Produce is going to help you with both fiber and water. And I really love focusing with the nutrients that are provided in natural foods on the plates versus the supplements. Supplements are advanced, like ask for help to navigate them, but just start with the plate. Let's get more fruits. Let's get more vegetables on there. You know, use frozen fruits and vegetables if you're someone who struggles with things going spoiled or cost. I love the freezer, things in the freezer. They're great. And canned produce can also be a great option as well. Just rinse it off before you use it to rinse off the excess sodium, and then go for it. It's a great shelf stable. We need to be realistic. Not everybody has a fridge. Not everyone even has a kitchen. So these things are accessible for everyone.
I did have a homegirl who was dating a man without a fridge. And I was like, I just don't know that this is really the best situation for you right now, because I think he needs to focus on the fridge before a relationship. I do feel like that was important for them. Yeah.
It's difficult. And, you know, like I'm never going to put shame because I don't know where everyone's coming from. But
he didn't have a fridge because he was spending his money on weed. So that's why.
Yeah. So, yeah, nutrition is important. So we need a fridge. This is when we're talking about the determinants of health, right? And so even in my counseling sessions, I'll have people say, my fridge is broken, my landlord's not responding. I said, we need to write this up. Me missing my fridge is impacting my health, and it's causing me increased cost in food, and therefore you need to fix it. I have X, Y, and Z diagnoses, and usually they get it fixed after that. So just saying.
Doctor's note. Yeah.
So the next recommendation I have is use spices. There's so much misinformation. I don't know why I see like these health influencers saying like not to use spices to eat bland food. Why? Now we don't want to use.
What color are they?
Listen. Anyways, we don't need to torture ourselves for no reason. Like it just doesn't make sense. I'm not telling you to use, so seasonings are often mixed with extra sodium. It's really like if you cost it out, it's a scam. I'm talking about natural spices, the ones our ancestors used, right? So we're talking about natural, like the ground cinnamon, ground cumin, ground cloves, ground nutmegs, onion powder, garlic powder. These spices have so many anti-inflammatory effects in addition to the amazing flavors that they bring to our food. Bring the flavor. It's going to help us eat better. Like enjoy it, live it up. Like, you know, we don't need to suffer with blandness.
Suffering with blandness is hilarious. Like, because when you're really about spices, that's really what it feels like. It's you're making me suffer. And these are not man-made things. They come from the earth. So like, why would we not utilize them? Well,
there's, you know, systemic racism does leach into nutrition. So there's that.
But
So use those spices. Your healthy food should also be flavorful. If someone tells you that it's not supposed to be flavorful, red flag, caution, evacuate. That goes into my next step. Stop shaming cultural foods. The reason all of us are here today is because of the ancestral foods that have been passed down from generation to generation. A lot of these dishes were, you know, maybe created by different family members in ancient times. They said, oh, I started feeding my family this, less of my relatives are dying, and I'm going to continue this dish forward. That's why if you look across the world, almost every different culture has a version of beans and rice or a legumes and rice dish. Because it has a lot of nutritional benefits as a more complex carbohydrate, but also can replicate a complete protein.
Wait, so your mother is Palestinian?
Yes.
Can you tell me what the Palestinian version of that is?
Oh my God, we have so many. Like we have like mujaddara, which is lentils and rice. We also can do chickpeas and rice. Like and then we're always having like hummus or fool. It might not be cooked together, but it will be, you know, eaten with bread or with rice. So it's so often there. Meat traditionally is more of a flavoring than an actual like dish.
Oh, so like makluba.
Yeah, Yeah.
Maqluba, it's like the meat is in there just to give the whole vibe, not to be the centerpiece.
Traditionally, but once you're more affluent, you can put more in it. But like in a traditional sense, you just use a little bit for flavoring. You can almost make this food vegetarian or very easily, or vegan. And maqluba, you can use whatever resources you have, right? So there's no recipe. It's like, what is seasonally available? What do you have? You can do a fish maqluba. You can do a lamb. You can do a chicken. You can do chickpeas, eggplant. Switch it out. What do you have?
I did not know this. All right. See, we're learning, y'all.
And then my next point is, guys, I really recommend doing a social media cleanse. So as a dietitian, I have so many patients and people come to me about things they've seen online. A lot of these recommendations are dangerous. A lot of them could have a lot of misinformation. And I find just a lot of over restriction, right? Cut this out, cut this out, cut this out. That leads to more malnutrition. That is unnecessary. It's not actually supporting any of your health goals. So remove the misinformation from your feed. Protect your mindset, protect your mental health. Also, anyone's account that leads to you body shaming yourself, remove that as well, because looking at body types and things, BMI, body mass index, which is constantly used in assessing health, is not really a great indicator of health for anyone, especially us as Black people or people of color. It is only an average of white men. So that whole system is only an average of white men. If you are a woman, it's not a great health indicator. And if you are a woman of color, it's a doubly not great health indicator. Right. If it is going to be used to assess your health, it should be used along with labs and diagnoses, not on its own as a health indicator. There are people who live in larger bodies and are perfectly healthy. That is where their body does its best. That's where their genetics thrive. So just be aware that there isn't one size fits all for body types, and I don't want you body shaming yourself.
We have a couple questions from the audience. Can we go into that? All right. So, so Damon asked, are canned veggies nutrient dense?
Yes, they are. And the thing about canned veggies and frozen veggies both is they are processed so quickly, like from the farm to the canned or the frozen, it actually locks in the nutrients more than if you buy fresh produce that's been, a lot of times it might come from the Caribbean or South America and is transported and spends all that time in transport. So yeah, like I said, great option. Let's remove the shame. It's there for no reason.
So wait, why do the nutrients diminish over time?
Just like normal oxidation, like oxygen starts breaking down the cells and
okay, science. Yeah. All right. This is just a funny comment. Rolando said, no fridge is diabolical. You just know that mattress is on the floor. Yes, honey, you know it was. You know it was. Okay, Sweetie Cry asks, can I get a hot take on tofu, please? Specifically for Black women.
If you like it, I love it.
Well, I know that a lot of people be like, tofu is soy and we shouldn't be consuming soy, etc. So what's your opinion?
No, my opinion is soy is great. You can have it. It's about soy. The research about soy causing cancer is actually like misinformation. The more current research shows that that's not actually valid. I would say it does. A lot of soy foods show up in heavily processed foods. So if you have the ability to like limit your heavily processed foods, that's great. But other than that, yeah, I think soy is a great nutrient dense food to add, especially if you're practicing a vegan diet. This is a great protein to have in your day. And if you like it, I love it. If you hate it, leave it alone.
Not a fan. I don't like the texture. I don't like the texture.
Fine.
All right, last question. Is it possible to get adequate protein without overloading carbohydrates?
Yeah, absolutely. I think in that case, we just need some education on which foods provide proteins, which foods provide carbohydrates, and separate them out so you know which foods to focus on for that protein content. But also, there's a lot of overly negative perspectives on carbohydrates. I saw some recent information when someone was talking about the food crisis and weaponized starvation being applied to Gaza. people need carbohydrates. Like, you need them to live. So it's not about excluding them. It's about getting the right amount of carbohydrates.
Yeah.
And in looking at Gaza and that the starvation crisis, carbohydrates are really important. They need more carbohydrates than are recommended for us as Americans for survival. So that's where I said nutrition it's important in those crises or hard situations to get personalized recommendations, because they can be very different than the general recommendations.
There's actually one last question that I think is really good to end on. Can you talk about the importance? This is Chef Seisha. Can you talk about the importance of advocating for yourself, especially to your doctor/nutritionist? It's not an abundance of Black doctors or dietitians, as you stated.
Yes, it is. I work with health literacy all the time with my patients. I've had a lot of patients that have been traumatized by the health system. I work with doctors, right? I'm not against doctors. I work with doctors. Doctors lead the ship, and I'm kind of a team member on the ship. The patient is also the owner of the ship, right? That's their body. Mm-hmm. But yes, you do have to advocate. You do have to, if your doctor tells you no to certain testing that you asked for or isn't listening to you, number one, that's your staff person. You as the patient hired them. You should fire them if they're not listening to you or making you comfortable. The other thing you can do in doctor's appointments is if the doctor says no to a test or a lab that you want, ask them to document that they said no and why they said no, so that you can have that on you to move to the next clinician that you choose. Usually at that point, people will be like, okay, I'll just do it, because there's no harm. If there's no harm in doing the lab and you're okay with the finances of doing it, then why are they gatekeeping? So yeah, advocate. And you don't need to take the first no as the final no. You can push.
So last but not least, can you just speak to the audience on the effectiveness and the role of dietitians? Because I don't think a lot of people really know and understand how they can utilize the type of work that you do.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. And I agree with you. And I have a lot of my patients come to me, and doctors' appointments on average are 15 minutes, and doctors have a lot to cover in that 15-minute span. Sometimes doctors right now are seeing that nutrition is important, and they are sometimes trying to get in a little information, but you're not going to get the right information in 2 minutes. So a lot of times my patients will come to me confused. Okay, I got diagnosed with diabetes. My doctor told me not to eat what is that thing again? Carbohydrates. I never even heard that word before. And I think it's important for doctors to delegate, right? They can't cover everything in that 15-minute session. We are the nutrition specialists because I have 7 years of nutrition education as a dietitian. Doctors usually might have in a nutrition forward school 2 days of nutrition education in their medical program. And you can ask them, don't trust me. Ask your doctor how much nutrition education have you had, or nutrition training. So it is really important to get the right person on the team to navigate that nutrition part. And I like to use nutrition as it's kind of like it's the least invasive strategy, right? So if you have diabetes, medication is really helpful. And I'm not telling anyone not to take their diabetes medication, but you should also pair that with learning nutrition and lifestyle, things that are not going to have side effects and symptoms or negative side effects and symptoms, and can also really boost the effectiveness of your treatment plan in a major way. And there's a lot of research to show the effectiveness of nutrition counseling for especially diabetes, renal disease, but also heart disease, high blood pressure. And it's a great preventative measure. Don't wait until you have a diagnosis to get nutrition counseling. Do it now while you're healthy, so you can stay healthy as long as possible. My goal in my career was to keep people out of hospitals and long-term care. I want you to be as healthy as possible at home. So does that answer your question?
I like to give people the stage. I like to give people the stage. Now, I do want y'all to know that, you can leave your comments after the show in the actual YouTube chat. And Nada, if she has time, can go through and respond to the ones that she has time to respond to, because there's so many questions here that I think are really relevant, but ultimately we don't have that much time.
Can I say one more thing?
Really? Absolutely not. Of course. Yes.
All right. So You guys can find your own dietitian, right? You can reach out to me if I'm in your state, but you can also use
Where are you?
I cover New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, and I'm getting licensure in a couple more states as well. But use your insurance card. A lot of times you can see a dietitian for free. So call the number on the back of your insurance card and ask for a list of in-network dietitians. So you can often, and they'll tell you how much it will cost you out of pocket. Most of my patients see me without paying anything out of pocket. So use your health benefits to get those free the services covered.
Who knew? I sure didn't. This is why, you see, y'all, this is why it's so dope to have a network of people that have expertise in areas that you don't. They end up being a support system to the community in a real way. So I just want to thank you, Nada,
Thank you for having me.
And where can people follow you on the internet?
Yeah, you can follow me at Nutrition by Nada on all social media. I will have a website going up very soon, nutritionbynada.com. You can also just Google me. I usually come up Nutrition by Nada or Nada Mays. And you can send me a message through, I have a landing page. So you can send me a message right there as well, and I'll call you back.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed that. And if you missed anything, because there was a lot of information there, hopefully you will make sure to replay this and take notes. Thank you, Nada, so much for joining us.
Thanks, Amanda. Love you.
Mwah, 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 mwah. I love you. Bye. That was so dope, y'all. That was so dope. Definitely. So, every Tuesday, I'm looking to have someone come on to give us a different type of segment. Desmond will come back to give us Watch, Don't Watch on our films and TV that we should be supporting and watching. Also, I'm going to have a new segment called Black Around the World, where I'm going to be bringing Black Americans on who are living abroad to talk about their experience in living in different countries around the world. So this is going to expand not only our geography knowledge, but also just, I think, open up our minds from the shackles of the American limitation practice that is put on us. Amen.